Hi guys, it's Catherine. Today I'm going to be filming my June wrap-up. Yes, I could not be bothered to change out of my pajamas, alright? I know. I'm great at life. I've already filmed this video once, but it's not that I didn't like it, I just felt like I had more to say. So I wrote things down, and I never do that just because like I just don't. But there were a lot of things that I realized that I missed that I just really wanted to like mention, and I also started hearing more things about these books after I filmed the video, because I filmed it kind of early just so that I could have time to edit it. I did not get around to editing it, but today I'm going to try to do this again. And also when I watch people's wrap-ups at the end of the month, I just get more motivated to like make videos, so I don't even know. But anyways, let's just get into this video. So first off, let's start with some stats. I read 6 books this month, 4 of which were audiobooks and 2 of which were physical books. I reached my Goodreads goal, yay, which was 25, but I've never read more than 20 books in a year. I think I reached it last month, which is really exciting. I currently stand at 27, so I'm like, if I read the same amount of books that I read in the beginning half of this year, I could have about 50 books read in this year, and that would be insane for me because I'm a very slow reader. I feel like I've been getting faster as time passes, but crazy. This is what BookTube has done to me. So here are the star rating stats. I had 1 1-star book, 2 4-star books, and 3 5-star books. So as usual, I always do my wrap-ups in order of date when I read them versus like some people I know they do it in order of like star rating, so I just do it in date. So let's get started. So in the beginning of the month, I don't really remember when I started listening to them. These were the 4 audiobooks that I listened to. It might have been like at the very last day of May or very early June, but it is The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. Whew, my goodness. So the first 2 books I gave 4 stars to, and the second 2 I gave 5 stars. So because no booktuber ever really does this, I'm gonna give a summary of The Raven Cycle because I don't know, it's just so popular that a lot of people I guess like kind of assume. I definitely did assume in my last video. I didn't even give a summary of this thing. So yeah, because a lot of people have read it and so they're just like why repeat? But I had never read it and I just never got a like proper description of what it was. So basically in this book we follow an array of characters. We follow a girl named Blue who is and lives in a family of psychics, and there's a lot of like clairvoyancy and like tarot card readings. Like that's the kind of element in this book that nobody ever said was in there, and I would have read the book so much earlier if I'd known that this kind of stuff was in. I love like tarot cards and readings and like psychics, and I think I became like really into it like last Halloween. Still haven't gotten my tarot deck. This book definitely like finally made me like, yes, just go get it. Like what's stopping you? So I finally found the deck that I want, and I'll be ordering them very soon. They're so pretty. But yeah, I'm very like particular about tarot cards. Like I want pretty art in them. I don't want to get like the ones that everybody else has, you know? So hipster. But anyways, so we follow Blue and her family. There's this like curse on her that goes like if she kisses her true love, then he will die. And so crazy. And then we also have like these 4 boys. They're friends. They go to this like prep school. They're on this very big quest to find this Welsh king who's been asleep for like centuries, and whoever wakes him will receive a favor. Basically for the main dude, he just kind of wants to wake him because it's like it's an adventure for him. Basically Blue kind of like becomes part of their world as well, and it's just the whole thing is basically about finding the Welsh king. But there's just so much more to it. This takes place in the South, and ever since I read Beautiful Creatures, which was like so long ago, I think after the movie came out for Beautiful Creatures, that's when I watched it. I can't remember. But ever since then, I have wanted to read another book in the South, but I just never like really actually went and looked for it. I think these books definitely took me some time to get into because I don't like contemporary. I don't like things that take place in the real world. So it took me a while to get into them, hence why the first 2 books are 4 stars. Also, the rhythm of the first 2 books was like, it took some time to get into as well. They very much felt like kids mystery books. Like things happen throughout the whole book, you know, it's kind of chill. And the very end, there's just this like random like climax or something. I don't even know. It's just like, and then like this random like thing that happens. It's not very random, but like it's this big thing that happens right at the end, and then it resolves itself. So I just it kind of felt like a bit weird to me. Like I haven't read a book like that in so long. And like I said, real world stuff took me a little while to get into. Of course there's a magical element to this book, so it wasn't like contemporary, because I haven't read a contemporary in way over a year. Like And so currently I'm just like, you know what I should do? Just not read any contemporary for the rest of this year. Like, that would be insane. Then I could be like, I didn't read any contemporary this year. Wow, look at me. I'm such a fantasy buff. I don't really know. But yeah, like I was saying, like the rhythm of it, it's just like, hey, if you've ever read a Nancy Drew, that's what it feels like. I've only read one Nancy Drew and I hated it because it was scary to me. I feel like it's also because I'm like so used to like these fantasy books being so turbulent. So maybe that's it. But of course by the third book I really got into it. I was like really loved the characters. I think that one had a lot more of like a magical element to it and things are finally going right, if you know what I mean. Wink wink. Okay, I can't tell you if you haven't read it because then that would be spoilers. So, funny story. So I was reading the first book and like I know what the main ship of the whole like series is, if you know what I mean. And so I was like, what? How is this gonna work out? I can't like explain it properly if you haven't read it. But basically I thought that there was gonna be a love triangle. So basically what I thought that like maybe there might be a love triangle in the future, and I didn't, you know how much I hate love triangles if you've been around here. So I looked it up and there was like a list thing and it was like, yep, it's a love triangle. I was like, what? So I like complained about it on my Instagram and somebody said just continue reading. It's not a love triangle, like just read it. So I'm so grateful to you if you're watching this. Thank you so much for making me continue with it. But yeah, so I thought there was a love triangle. So when I went to BookCon, I was listening to the first book during then, and I met Maggie Stiefvater. I just realized that's the first author I've ever met. That's crazy. So I went up to her and I was basically like, I'm listening to Raven Boys right now. She's like, oh, it's like the audiobook's so good, right? And I was like, yeah, but I almost stopped listening to it because I thought there was gonna be a love triangle, but somebody said that there was not. And she was like, no, I hate those. And I was like, yep. Thank you. And like I said with like the first two books, like I couldn't really get into them like fully and like love them. But like when I finished the first book, I didn't plan on immediately continuing. I don't really know why, I just didn't really like think about it. But like in the beginning of June, I was like doing a lot of like things with my hands or like with my eyes. And so I didn't have a lot of time for reading. Like I wanted to do like painting and do things that I couldn't normally do while I was in school still. So I worked on a painting for a good while and then I listened to the rest of the books and I just really enjoyed it. I just listened to them like all day every day for like a week or something. If you like ever do a painting, like I like do art, right? I don't really like share that much on my channel, I don't really know why, but if you ever do a painting while you're like watching a show or like listening to an audiobook, it like sticks with you. So like I will forever remember this painting. I did a print of it because I wanted to put it in my journal, but if you ever do it, you like make a connection with it. So like this will always remind me of the Raven Boys. But I actually have the painting like stored away. That's why I didn't actually pull it up. I mean like I'm not that good of a painter because I don't like to draw, so it's hard. Like I'm very bad at like making original paintings. Like I always need to like copy off of something else or like an actual real life picture because that's how I was like taught to paint. This is probably like you don't care, but like I'm just gonna share it. I've had like a kind of like a struggle for the past like 2 years trying to like make original paintings. So basically I took a picture off of Pinterest of this girl and she's like looking, her eyes are closed or something, I don't remember. Like I took her like body and all that and then I made like eyes looking up and then I also like did a tree background instead of like the rocks like in the original picture. You probably really don't care what I'm talking about, but still. Oh well. But anyways, back to the wrap up. The relationship that we first see in the Raven Boys, the first book, at first I was just like, what the heck is like moving so fast? Like this is kind of weird. But then I realized, no, this is a regular human in relationship. Like I'm just so used to like the fantasy books and like, you know, with the crazy like romance, like hate to love or stuff like that, or like an insta love, and I was like, is this insta love or like I don't really but anyways, this is what takes place in the real world and not those like far-fetched contemporaries either. So it was just very normal. And I was like, what is this? Gansey, yes, he's everybody's husband, but I just love him. Blue, I really enjoyed Blue's character. I feel like if anybody can like really place themselves as Blue, like if you want to like act or something, you can place yourself as Blue. Like I can. Like Blue doesn't have like a ethnic description, I guess, so I can totally be Blue, just cut off my hair, which would be very sad. But still. Is there a Netflix series going? I heard about that, but I'm very afraid. I do not want it to be turned into a movie. As much as I love these books, I would not want it to be turned into like a movie or series because they would just ruin it and then like make it known to people who like don't understand the love we have for these books, you know? If you understand what I mean. I always feel weird about things being made into movies, like while I love like, oh, you're like getting somewhere with your life. I'm just kind of like, but it's for us. Once it gets out there, people are gonna be like, oh, we know it's so good. Okay, I'm just sounding like such a hipster right now. I'm very sorry. Gwendolyn is my favorite character out of all of them. I don't even know. I was kind of disappointed how we didn't get full circle with her. I can't really explain too much in case of spoilers, but she's my favorite. She's so freaking crazy. I love her so much. Yes. So after I had filmed the first time I did this wrap up, and I was just gonna do a voiceover kind of bit where I was like, hey, wait. I watched Trina from Between the Chapters, her book talk on the Raven Cycle, or the Raven King, and I agreed with a lot of things she said. There were a couple things I was like, eh, but I will leave her video link down below, because like basically everything she said I was like, yep. Like, I realized how profound the message was, like watching, like hearing her talk about it. I was like, geez, I would have never thought of all this by myself. Like, I kind of want to do a book talk for the Raven Boys, but because I didn't actually read them in physical form, like I can't like go back and flip through and like see things I would want to talk about. So I will get the books, buy them, read them again, and then I'll do a book talk sometime in the future. I know it's kind of an old series, like people don't really care that much anymore, but I really enjoyed watching people's book talks on it. So yeah, but yeah, like that series just seems so deep. Talking about the audiobook, the narrator, which was Will Patton, I think his name is, I don't really know. I think he did a very good job. Yeah, overall he was just a very good narrator, and I would listen to something else by him, so yeah. So when I finished these books, I was kind of like, I felt like reluctant to join the fandom and like you know, like get all like hyped about it like within like the book community, because like I just felt like it was kind of like something like close to my heart. Like I didn't want to like share, like obviously everybody's already read this, but I just felt like these were like my friends. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but like I just didn't really want to like interact with the community about the Raven Cycle right after I finished it. Like over time, like I've just been like, oh my god, you love it too? Yes. And like I really want the like bookish candles. There's these candles from Revere Library candle company that I just found them the other day, and I just really want to buy some of their candles. It looks so beautiful. So yeah. And also Novelty Yours had like a big candle of like Blue and her boys. It's already gone now, but I wanted it so bad, but I didn't have like however much money that cost. I was just like, oh, no thanks. So like I said before, I think I said before, my favorite book was Blue Lily Lily Blue, because it had like a lot of fantasy in it. I finally got like into the like contemporary feel, the real world feel, the real world feel. Yeah, but the fourth book may not have been my, okay, probably would not have been my favorite book, because the ending, I just did not like it for plenty of reasons. There was a lot of like not closure. I still give the book 5 out of 5 stars, like nah, whatever. But there was a lot of things that weren't like closed. Definitely if I do a book talk on these books, then like you'll find out like why I had so much not closure. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have these problems anyways, so yeah. Oh, Trina from Between the Chapters, go watch her book talk. That a lot of like things that she said in her book talk is like why I didn't have closure at the end. Okay, so a lot of people really like Henry. I didn't really care. Like once he was introduced in the 4th book, I was just kind of like, I don't care, you're in the 4th book, like just it's already done. I'm like not gonna have time to get to know you or anything. No matter what you like, nothing that he did I was like, oh my god, yes, I love him. Like no, I just didn't really care, and I was just very like pissed at the end, and I can't really explain to you why, because like if it's spoilers, you know, spoilers, man. And I don't really want to do a spoilery section because like then I just like go rampant on that. Basically, I was just like, just go watch Trina's video. She talked about why I didn't like Henry. So overall, I just really loved these books. Like the feel of them was just so like, finishing it was like saying goodbye to really good friends, and it was just so weird. I was just like, what? Like they feel like my friends. Like I have to like say goodbye. Like I can't text them or anything. Like it was just weird, and I was like, oh my heart. So yeah. So that concludes my very large portion of this wrap-up pertaining to the Raven Cycle. So yep. So we move on to the next book. I did a full structured review for this book this month, but it is The Bone Witch by Rin Chapeko. I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Basically, in this book we follow this girl named T who finds out she's a bone witch because she accidentally raises her brother from the dead. And in this world, there are these like witches called Ashas. Basically, they can like harness the elements, use the elements for the like powers, you know? And basically, bone witches are rare Asha that can raise the dead and use elements that are like flipped from the actual elements, you know, like the earth, fire, water, air. Did that make any sense? I feel like I just like jumbled that up so much just now. But anyways, so she's taken to this place where basically she learns to become an Asha. Ashas they like entertain people as well as like using their powers for like protecting people and stuff like that, and it was just kind of, that part of it was a little bit weird, but whatever. They basically entertain people like with singing and dancing because they're just very good at it. He's just very good at dancing and combat and stuff like that. And bone witches have this very big responsibility because there are these monsters called the diva, I think that's how you say it, but they basically resurrect every like however many years, and they just like go rampage, they kill a lot of things. So that's how T's brother died, because he was killed by a diva. Am I saying this right? I don't know. This whole book follows T growing up and like learning. Growing up, she's like 12 at the beginning of this book, but basically just like being a part of this world. So like I said, I did a review for this and I'll have it linked over yonder, so I would just do like a brief summary of like my thoughts on this. If you want to get a little bit more in depth with like my thoughts on it, then go check out my review. But I really enjoyed this book. A lot of people thought it was very boring and very slow, but I really enjoyed it. I feel like I was just caught at a good time for reading a book like this. I don't really know. Maybe if I was feeling a little bit more book slumpier, then I may have just not liked this book, but the world is just so rich and you just hear so much about it, and it's just so good. And the format of this is really cool. Like we follow alongside like present day T and then like past T. We find out at the beginning that T has been exiled, and like I assumed that the whole novel would be about like how she got exiled. It's really just about like her life in the beginning, and it just seems like this is just a very long story that needs to be told in depth, or that will be told in depth. I think a lot of people thought it was boring because they didn't walk in expecting this to be just like her earlier life, like not explaining fully like why she was not resurrected, what's the word? Exiled. So definitely walk into this if you're gonna read it knowing that things might be a little bit slow and that we're not gonna get the conclusion to this story in this book. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for this book. Like I said, review has more thoughts in it, goes a lot more in depth, but overall I really enjoyed this book and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. People said I'm very lenient with my starring. Yes, I am. Depends on the day though. If I start not liking a book, I will just become super critical of it. As long as I find a book enjoyable and like things that other people find problematic that I just don't really care about, or like I don't mind, or like I don't think we're like done as badly as they say, like I can't purposely look for faults in the book as long as I enjoyed it. So speaking of being super critical, the last book that I finished for the month of June is The 100th Queen by Emily R. King. I gave it a 1 star. I did a rant video for this. I'll have it linked over yonder. A lot of it's spoilery, and the first time I did this wrap-up video, I wanted to talk about in my wrap-up book why, like properly, non-spoilery, why I didn't like this book and all the problems in it. So let us start. I tried to keep it short or else this part of the review would be very long as well. So I was really hyped for this. It came out in June. It just sounded very good. Basically it's about this girl who's lived in a sisterhood all her life, and in these sisterhoods they are like sponsored by benefactors, and the benefactors can come at any time and claim any of the girls that they want, like to be like their wives, courtesans, servants, whatever they want to use them for. So our main character, what's her name? Kalinda. She's claimed by the Rajah, who's like the king, who's like a tyrant. In the beginning of the book, she's claimed by him, and so she has to like travel to go to his palace, and then because she is to be his 100th queen, and then he can't have any more queens after that, she has to like fight for her spot. His courtesans, which are very plenty, over 200 or something like that, they can fight her to become, like, take her place. So basically that's what it's about. But of course she falls in love with her guard, blah blah blah. I'll get to it in a second. I don't even want to look at that book anymore. Like I don't, whenever people like give away books that they don't like, I'm just like, but like why? Just to keep it on your shelf so you can be like, oh, I hate you. But like I just don't want to see that book. It's a beautiful cover and I was so hyped for it as well. The second book's already like coming out. Like it was already a thing before that book even like came out, and I was like, what the heck? Like now that I've read it, I'm just like, how the heck did you get a second book? A lot of people I've heard like really like this book, and I'm just like, what? Like I said, I'm very lenient with books, and it's just so problematic. They had such bad tropes in it, and I was just like, stop, like you're not, like I don't mind tropes as long as they're done well, hardly ever, but like this just didn't do it. It had so much like potential hope in the main plot, like things, I just don't know how to explain it properly. It's just very bad. The general plot had hope, but it just didn't. The motivations for the plot being driven forward were just not good. So there's a very insane insta love for this book. I have not read a book with like an insane insta love like this in a while. I feel like a lot of the books I currently read, like have been reading, they're usually like hate to love. The level of insta love that this was, I was just like, oh my god, like they start liking each other based on looks apparently, but no, wait, she's plain and ugly and like another one of my most hated tropes, the I'm so plain. No one's plain. Everybody's beautiful or different in their own right. Like, stop calling yourself plain. She's like, basically, she's like, I'm tall and lanky, therefore I am plain. But yeah, so they're basically just like in love with each other because of looks. They barely even talk to each other. And then their whole relationship, they don't even really talk to each other because it's forbidden love. So they can't even like really like interact. But basically, the main character, Kalinda, was such an idiot, alright? Such an idiot. I could not stand her. My eyes were being rolled 24/7 reading this book. Yeah, so she's an idiot for many reasons. Just one of which is that she knows this one thing, there's a certain thing I'm talking about, throughout the whole book. But yet she constantly denies, like she's like, no, I can't be, like, but obviously just like every, like, ugh, she's seeing it with her own eyes and she's just like, no, but I can't, like, there's just not. It was like obvious evidence in front of her and that she was just like, but no. And I was like, oh my god. In this book, there are like these big revelations or like a plot twist happens and then there's like a big revelation. I'm like, no, like I already knew, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Basically the plot was very predictable, and so like whenever like a plot twist happens, you already know how it like twisted, but then she takes like a couple pages to actually get it, and then once she gets it, she's like, oh my god, like, and then she explains it. I'm like, no, I already understood before, like way before, like you're so behind. What are you even doing? It's just not good. Basically, I was really hyped for this book. There were some times that I was just like, you know, this plot could be good, like it might be good like at this very moment, but then I don't know. The second book sounds horrendous. A trope that I very much hate. If you've been around, you know that my most hated trope of my whole life is. So that happens in the second book. I'm just like, no thanks. So basically, that is my wrap up. That like went from like high to low. So I think I'm much happier with like getting my points across with this video. So hopefully this one goes up. Exciting news if you've made it this long in the video. I am now a rep on my Instagram. Check out my Instagram, always linked down below, at cat.caris. But I am now a rep for a candle company called WICK, but I also wanted to share with you guys here so that you guys can use my discount code and get a discount from these very beautiful candles. The company's name is WICK. I will obviously have their shop linked down below, and also their Instagram if you want to check it out. Exciting. Basically, if you didn't know what a rep is, they basically send you candles because it's a candle company, and then in turn you take pictures of the candles and post them on your Instagram and promote it. But then I also get a discount code, which I'm very happy about, so that I could share with you guys. So if you want to treat yourself and save a little bit, use my discount code, which is Catherine10. Yep, they just have a very good array of candles. I'm getting like Kaz and Inej candles. I'm just like, yes, please give me now. I'm just so excited to get these candles. Definitely check them out below. And also if you want to check out my Instagram, I will be posting pictures of the candles when I get them. So exciting. In other news, I just found out today, so therefore I'm gonna have to refilm my TBR. A, because like plan changes, it's gonna like affect things, and B, because I also forgot like a whole thing part of my TBR, so I'm just gonna refilm it today right now so you can see me in the same outfit in that video. Maybe not, maybe I'll change my shirt, I don't know. This is such a random tangent, and I'm also gonna have to do my room tour today. It's just too much stuff. Basically, the news is that I'm moving back home for a couple of months, home to Belize. I'm from Belize. I lived in Belize for 15 years of my life, and then I moved to Vermont in America. Belize is in Central America / the Caribbean, if you didn't know. Basically, I'm moving back for a little bit with my family until I come back for school, unless I get an internship, which I hope I do for the fall. But I'm also doing an online class learning about the War of the Roses, and it's really exciting. I'm really excited because I love British history. If I went to England, I would just die with like all like, I'd be like, oh my god, like, you know, with all the historic things. Like, I just want to go to England so badly. I want to go to Europe so badly anyways. But basically, I'm moving home for a little while, so I'm gonna have to film my room tour and stuff like that, and my bookshelves tour before all my books are packed up. And I will also have to like choose certain books to take. So basically I'm gonna have to start packing up my room very soon. All like things are up in the air, things might change, who knows? Just gotta see how things work out. This video is probably very long, but that is it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to check out all my social media, which will be linked down below. Also remember to check out like the WICK. Yep. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
I was yours on Sunday, while we watched the children play. We fell deep in love again, like we always do.